Remember what we were discussing in the last class?
Date and time information.
Date and time information.
How the date values will be stored in SAS?
Elapsed number of days.
Elapsed number of
Days.
Days from days.
From 1960.
From the date of
1st January 1962 given date.
very good from 1960 Jan 1st to given date
Given.
value.
Given
Why
date.
we should save in that way?
For arithmetic.
Because we need to store it as a numerical data, isn't it? So to store the date values as a numerical data, we converting that into elapsed number of days. To convert that into elapsed number of days, they have taken 1960 Jan 1st as a 0 day. From that day onwards, whatever the date value that we have given in our data, the difference between these two dates will be saved as an elapsed number of days. If the date comes after the 1960 Jan 1st, it will be saved as a positive elapsed number of days. If the date comes before the 1960 Jan 1st, that will be saved as an elapsed number of days only, but with a negative value. With a negative value. So in that way, 31st December 1959 will be saved as how? That will be saved as a minus.
-1.
Very good. Now, how the time values will be saved?
Elapsed number of seconds.
Elapsed number of seconds. From midnight to
On that day.
That day midnight 12 o'clock to
12
that
o'clock.
day midnight 12 o'clock to given time value.
Given time.
Say for example, in our data, if the date is like this one, tell me what is the informat we should write?
Date. 9 dot.
Date
Date
Nine dot.
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 Very good. If the date contains 23 December 22, how we need, what is the informat we should write?
Date.
Date 7 dot.
7 dot.
If our date contains 23 /12 /22, what is the informat we should write?
DDMMY.
Date dot. If it is a 23 /12 /2022, you should write
DDMMY.
DD Very good. But if you don't know what you should use, what is the universal information that you can write? Any DT.
Dot.
When the time contains hours, minutes, seconds, what is the information you should write? Time.
Time.
Date dot.
Eight dot.
No, we can also write HH, SS, 8 dot.
Yes, 8 dot.
I think this is a format used in SQL, right?
Yes, sir.
If the date time value contains hours and minutes, what is the information we can write? Time 5 dot. Okay, or hours, minutes 5 dot. But if you forget, you don't know what is the information you should use, what is the universal information you can write?
Time dot.
Time dot.
Time dot.
So this is what we have seen in the last class. Okay, but now sometimes the data is going to be in this way. What is the specialty of this data?
Contains both date and time.
Date and time.
It contains date and time as one value. Can you see? We are getting date and time together. Sometimes we collect date and time together. When we have a date and time together, how to read this data now? Okay, now I want to read this data, so I'm writing data DS1, then I'm writing the input statement. I want to have ID, name, character data, so $in format, then age, sex, character data, $in format, then I'm writing the salary, then I'm writing, I want to have a start date time. SDT. You can any variable name I'm writing, but I want to read it as a numerical variable, numerical data. So that's why I'm not writing a dollar symbol here. But SAS cannot understand because the data contains alphabets, numbers, and even special characters also. Even if you have a comma cannot understand, then how it can understand when we have alphabets, numbers, and special characters, it cannot understand. So that's why we will not get the data into SGT. But I want to read as a numerical data. Now, if you want to read as a numerical data, we should use an informat, and that informat we call it as a date-time informat. What is the date-time informat that you use? So, luckily, we should write the same informat. Now, in the input statement, after the variable name, I am writing date-time. Now, can somebody read the length, how much length we have that for, date-time value? How much length that we have?
18.
19 dot.
18, sir.
18. Very good.
sir.
Now, what we should
18,
write?
sir.
Now we should daytime 18 dot. Okay. Now, if I select the program, execute the program, we are going to have a DS1 data set. If I open this one, now can you see? We got the data. Can you see there is a data now in SGT? But how this data is related to our in-stream data? This is the first observation value I got. And by the way, this is the data value that we have given. We have given 10th February 1983, 10 o'clock, 30 minutes, and 15 seconds. Now, what is the relationship between these two values? Now remember, when we have a date and time together, how the SAS is going to store this value? To read this as a numerical data, what they have taken? They have taken, 1st January 1960, midnight 12 o'clock as 0 second. How they have taken? 1st January 1960, midnight 12 o'clock as how they have taken? As in a 0 second. From the daytime onwards, whatever the date and time that you have given in your data, the difference between these two will be saved as an A. How it will be saved as an A? Elapsed number of seconds. That's why we are getting this much huge value. So now tell me how the daytime values will be saved. Daytime value will be saved. The daytime value will be saved as elapsed number of seconds from 1960 Jan 1st midnight 12 o'clock to given daytime value. Understand this one? So that's why we got a huge value. Now tell me how the date values will be saved?
Elapsed number of
Days. The date value will be saved as an A. That will be saved as an A. Elapsed number of
Days.
Elapsed number of days from 1960 Jan 1st.
Jan 1st.
To given date value. Now how the time value will be saved?
elapsed
Elapsed
number
number of seconds.
from
Elapsed number of
From
seconds
midnight
from
12 o'clock.
day midnight.
that day midnight. That day, midnight 12 o'clock. Okay. Now how the daytime value will be saved?
Elapsed number of
Elapsed
Elapsed
number of
seconds.
seconds. Elapsed number of seconds from 1960
January
Jan 1st
January 1st.
midnight 12
12
o'clock
o'clock.
to given daytime value. This will be saved as an elapsed number of seconds. So very, very important. Understand the difference between daytime value, everybody? Clear, everybody?
Sir, STT represents?
So it's just a variable name. You can add any variable name.
Okay, sir.
If you want, you can also write the variable name X. No, whatever the variable name you want, you can write it.
Sir, can you once again explain that time and date time difference?
Time value will be saved from that day midnight 12 o'clock to given time value. It will be saved as an elapsed number of seconds. అంటే టైం అంటే ఆ రోజు మిడ్ నైట్ 12 o'clock దగ్గర నుంచి సేవ్ అవుతుంది. But when we have a date and time, because we have date time together, no? How to save the date time together when we have a date and time together? So see here, we have a 10th February 1983, 10 o'clock, 30 minutes. If it is only date, we can save it as elapsed number of seconds. If it is only time, we can save it as elapsed number of seconds from the day midnight 12 o'clock. Because the 10 o'clock 30 minutes means that day 10 o'clock 30 minutes. But when we have a 10th February 1983, 10 o'clock 30 minutes 15 seconds. So how we can save this one now? To save this one, they have taken 1st January 1960 midnight 12 o'clock as 0 second. From that date and time onwards, whatever the date and time that we have in our data, the difference between these two date and times will be saved as an elapsed number of seconds. That's why when we have a date and time together, you are going to get a value in huge crores because it is saving in elapsed number of seconds. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, sometimes we are going to have the data like this one.
Hello.
Okay, we'll get the date value, but when it comes with the time, you'll get only hours and minutes. Then there will be no seconds. Now, when you do not have a seconds, how much length you require for the date and time? Data. I want to have a DS2. I'm writing input ID name $symbol age sex $symbol salary. I want to have an SD variable. Tell me what the informat I should write.
Date time.
Date time.
Date time
15 dot, isn't it? Date time 15 dot. Date time 15 dot is enough. So when we have a date time value only hours and minutes, when you do not have a seconds, 15 dot is enough. Now we'll get that. Now also it will be saved as an elapsed number of seconds from 1960 Jan 1st midnight 12 o'clock to given date time value. Clear, everybody? Now, when you do not know what we should use, 18 dot or a 15 dot, simply you can also write date time dot. Here you can write the date time dot when we have only hours and minutes, and here also we can write date time dot simply. So when you write a date and time, if you have with seconds or without seconds also, you'll get it. Now see, if I select the program, execute the program, yes, I'm getting the data. And when we have a data like this one, when we have only hours and minutes, now also I will get the data. Clear, everybody? No doubt, right? How to read the date values, why we are reading the date as an elapsed number of days, because we need to save it as a numerical data. So elapsed number of means now the data is in numerical format, so it can save it, so that we can use for arithmetic operations. Now the time will be saved as an elapsed number of seconds. That means that is also saving as an what you call numerical data. Okay, and then the date and time is saving as an elapsed number of seconds from 1960 Jan 1st midnight to 12 o'clock to given time value. I hope there is no confusion at all. If you have any confusion, please let me know. I can explain one more time. Clear, everybody?
Sir, means it will show the number of days and seconds also at a time, right?
Pardon? Renuka, come again.
It will show the number of days and seconds in one column.
Which one? Date time value.
Date time value.
No, it will show that only elapsed number of seconds only. Okay, it will show only elapsed. Yeah, it will show elapsed, but from when?
From 1960.
1960 Jan 1st midnight 12 o'clock.
Okay. Okay.
Sir, but what
Yes.
about date? We are writing date and time, sir.
Yeah, from that date and time. You know, when we have a date and time, how it is saving? Elapsed from when?
1960 Jan.
60 Jan 1st midnight 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock.
So it will save from that time onwards. It will save as in a seconds. What do you mean by day? A day nothing but 24 hours, right?
Yes.
So now it is saving, it is not saving as in a days, it is saving as in a seconds. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay then. So this is about date, time, daytime information.
Sir, universal format for date is date dot, no?
No, any dt dot.
రన్నింగ్కి
Okay, okay.
మళ్ళీ రన్నింగ్కి వెళ్తున్నావా? అదే గుర్తించుకోవాలి.
No.
సరే సరే.
Clear everybody? Anybody has got any doubts? Still you have a confusion? No, right? Can I go to the next one?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you guys have listened to that SQL classes, right? How you read the character data there? Sorry, how you read the vertical date values? Remember? How you entered the initial data in SQL? Tell me how you created a data set there? You guys have done SQL classes, no? Sorry, SQL classes, no? Create a table.
Creating table
Create table name. Then what are the variable names I want to have? So for example, I want to have ID number. I want to have it as a numerical variable. I want to have it as a numerical variable, comma. So for example, I want to have a name variable. And tell me how we have it in name variable. I want to have it as an expression. So you might have written varchar or varchar2. In SQL, in SAS, you no need to write that one. Simply you can write the char. Difference between varchar2 and varchar. What is the difference between varchar2 and varchar there?
The empty spaces. Varchar is dynamic string.
It can
What do you mean
enter
by
values and with character data. Number and character.
No?
There is no difference.
There is a difference, no?
There's
Yes,
a-
sir. Can
Sir, it minimizes this bytes.
There will be no loss of memory.
large number of numbers. Dependent name also.
So this is how I'm creating the variables. So I want to have ID number, name, date of birth. Then tell me what we did after that one.
Insert value.
Insert into. How we can insert? We can insert in two ways, no?
Yes, sir.
One is values, another one is set. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
What is the difference between-
name, sir.
Insert into table name. I want to insert into demo and values. Sorry,
Values
Demo,
will come
I
in
want
between, sir.
values. Tell me, when you are using values concept, value statement, how to enter? We should enter in the same way. If you do not have values, you should mention the null value. You should mention that dot symbol. If it is a missing value, you should mention the empty quotations, isn't it? But what is the advantage with set? In the set, if you skip anything, it will take it as a missing value, isn't it? If I want to have ID number, since it's a numerical value 101, I want to have name ABC, since it's a character data, we should write within the quotations. Then I want to have say 21st September 2001, I'm writing it 2001. Okay, this is how we can enter. Okay, and by the way, I want it as I want to apply the informat, then I'm going to apply the informat like this one. See, I'm going to enter one observation. Now select the program, execute the program. We are going to have a demo data set. Can you see how the SAS is reading the demo data birth now? Elapsed number of days. There also we do the same thing, isn't it? Did you use date values there? No?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll discuss about during the in advanced SAS. If you listen that at SAS classes now, I no need to take advanced SAS classes again. Because of what and all you learned in SQL, the same thing here we're going to discuss in SQL. So, if you have learned properly now, You no need to discuss again. Okay, now this is my data. I want to create a data set. Now tell me how to write the program. Data, by the way, what is the input statement, input method that you want me to use? Which input method you want me to use? The name contains embedded spaces and the data is in non-aligned manner. Data is in non-aligned manner, but luckily the name value and team value are separating with the two consecutive spaces. So what is the method you want to use? You guys are not reacting fast. That means you guys are forgot or you're not practicing. I'm telling you one very, very important thing. SAS is very, very volatile and it is going to get evaporated very fast. If you give a break for practicing for 2 days, you'll come to zero. You should be very, very careful, okay? Very regular, and you have to practice at least 3-4 hours by this time. You have to practice the current topic and you have to revise the old topics. You should be very careful, okay? Now, data. I'm creating a data set called, say for example, DS1. Yes.
Sir, minor doubt, sir.
Yes.
In proc SQL, do SQL have any syntax preferences, sir? And I mean, there are two kinds of syntax in SQL, sir. One is ANSI syntax and other one is Oracle syntax, sir.
Okay.
In proc,
ANSI.
sir?
ANSI. ASCII
Okay,
method.
Okay, sir.
Input. I want to have ID number. Then I want to have a name. I'm writing a name. $symbol. Do not worry. I will explain the proc SQL during advanced classes again. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Name. $symbol. Yes.
Excuse me. Sir, would it be difficult to understand if you don't have knowledge of SQL now?
Which one, SAS?
Yes, sir. Presently, you are telling the session, right?
Yeah.
From this, would it be difficult to understand, sir?
Which one you want to? You would say like which one is difficult?
Like basic understanding of SQL is nil, sir, from my end.
So if you do not know anything about SQL, because you know what, we have 130 members in the class now. I guess at least 120 members they don't know any programming language yet.
Yes, sir.
We are teaching you from the scratch, right? You no need to have any previous programming skills.
Okay.
If you want to learn SAS, but if you learn SAS properly, okay, that means you already learned 50% SQL, because whatever the data set I'm creating here, the same data set I will use there. Whatever the keep, drop, rename options we have here, we use all those options in SQL. What and all the functions you have, you might have seen scan function, substr function, count function,
Yes, sir.
You might have seen trim function. All these functions we have in SAS. The same functions we have in SQL. So if you learn all SAS, you have 50% knowledge in SQL. That's why at the end of our SAS, it will take you only 2 sessions to learn SQL. అంటే మీరు SAS మంచిగా నేర్చుకున్నారనుకోండి, మంచిగా అంటే కనుక ఇంటర్మీడియట్ లెవెల్కి నేర్చుకున్నారనుకోండి, SQL is going to be just like a cakewalk. Just 2 days. If I take the 2 sessions, that is good, more than enough to learn SQL.
Sir, will you take the 2 sessions, sir?
I will take the complete session.
Thank you, sir.
So it is my duty. I have to explain the proc SQL. Okay, I will take care of that.
Thank you, sir.
Now ID number. I want to have an ID number. Then I'm writing the name, team, character with $symbol. I want to have a start weight. Then I'm writing the end weight. And then I'm writing data lines. Tell me, am I going to get the data? No. The problem here, we have name embedded spaces. So luckily, name and the next variable got 2 consecutive spaces. So I'm writing an ampersand symbol. And then what I'm doing after that one, I'm writing, say for example, we have more than 8 characters. Maybe I'm writing 20 dollars. Now, if I select the program, execute the program, we are going to have a DS1 data set. And yes, we got the data. Everything looks fantastic, but I'm not so much focusing on the name variable. I'm very much focusing on team variable. Now, can you see how we have the team values? We have team values like blue, green, we have yellow, okay, and we have red, like this one. What I want to do, when I'm reading the data, I do not want to have blue. I want to have it as a B, capital B. I do not want to have it as a green. I want to have a capital G. And yellow, I want to read as a capital Y. And I want to read red as a capital R. That is how I want to read. Now, how to read like that one? Now, I'll tell you. If the data contains 5,000, remember what was the information I used? I used
Comma.
comma.
5 dot.
5 dot. When I have a $50,000 like this one, remember what was the information I used?
Dollar.
I used
$7 dot.
$7.
When I have a data 34%, remember what was the information I used? Very good. When a data contains 23 December 2022, remember what was the information I used? I used date 9 dot. When the data contains 18 o'clock, 30 minutes, 25 seconds, remember what was the information I used? Time 8. Very good. So I could able to use comma 5 dot informat or a $7 dot, person 3 dot, date 9 dot, time 8 dot. All these formats are ready available in my SAS system. When I open the SAS software, SAS session, automatically all these information will be get loaded into SAS session. So all these are ready-made. Okay, they're available in my SAS system. So whenever I want to, I can use it. Understand? There's a default. When you open the SAS software, those are readily available. Whenever you want to use, you can use. If you want to use, you can use a comma 5 dot or 6 dot or 7 dot, whatever the format, you can use it. But now, my requirement is, if the team contains RED red, I want it as a capital R. When the team value contains, say, for example, yellow, I want it as a capital, Y. So that means whatever the informat that I require, it is not guaranteed that we are going to have every informat available in SAS system, isn't it? I want to have a ready-made, design. I went to that ready-made store, like, is there guarantee that whatever that I think they're going to have that in the store? Whatever that I imagine, are we going to have the same model in that, is there any guarantee that we can have that in the store? No. It may or may not be present. When you do not have a such information that what you decide, what we should do? In that scenario, as a SAS programmer, I am going to create my own informat. If you create as a SAS programmer your own informat, then that is called as a user defined informat. అంటే మీకు ఏ ఇన్ఫర్మేట్ కావాలో ఆ ఇన్ఫర్మేట్ ని మీరే క్రియేట్ చేసుకోవచ్చు అన్నమాట. So as a SAS programmer, if you create your own informat, then what you call it as a user defined informat. So how we can define that one? As a SAS programmer, if we create our own informats, then it is called as user defined informat. Could you able to follow everybody?
Yes, sir.
Now, how to create a user defined informat? Now, if you want to create a user defined informat, we are going to use a procedure called proc format. Do not worry. During the proc step, I will explain this procedure very in detail. But today, it is the time we need to discuss the basics of how to create a user defined informat. So I'm using the procedure. So what is the procedure we should use if you want to create a user defined informat? Proc format. Now we should write a semicolon. Now I want to create a informat. So we should write a statement called in value. So why I'm writing in value? Because I'm creating an informat. Then tell me, I'm creating this informat to use it for which variable?
Team variable.
Team
To
variable.
use it for team variable. Team is a character or numerical variable?
Character.
So now what we should do, we should write a dollar symbol. Now, since I'm creating my own informat, I should write my own name. Okay, how we have a comma, how we have a dollar or percent, date, time, in the same way, since I'm creating my own informat, I should write my own name. So you can write any name, but you should follow SAS naming rules. So since it's related to team color, I'm writing TMCOL. You can any name, you can add ABC, XYZ, whatever. Arvind, we are getting background noise from your side. So now you can add any name. I'm writing TM color because it is logically, I want to give a close name so that there will be no confusion. Team color, TMCOL. Then you should give at least one space. Now, what is that in-stream data that we have? How we want to have? Say, for example, if the data contains blue, small letters blue, is equal to how I want to have? I want to have it as a capital B. So, how we have in the data, then how we want to have? You should write on the left side, you should write the value that is present in the data, raw data, and then on the right side of the is equal to, you should write how we want to have. Now, since both are character data, you should keep both the values within the quotations separately. So blue is equal to, I am writing B. Then the next value within the quotations, green is equal to, within the quotation is equal to, I want to have a capital G. In the same statement, if the data contains red is equal to, I want to have a capital R. You no need to follow any order, you can write in any order. And then finally, if the data contains, for example, yellow, it is, I want to have it as a capital Y. And you should remember one thing, since it is data is case sensitive, you should write in the same case how we have in the data. So since we have blue small letters, here also you should write a lowercase only, because character data is case sensitive. Now finally, you should keep a semicolon and then you should write the run semicolon. If I execute the program, a user-defined informat called TMCOL will be get created in the work library. But this will be get created in a separate folder called catalog. This is called catalog folder. In this catalog folder, it is created a informat called TMCOL. Do not worry about this. I will explain this one in detail during the proc step. But in today's class, just I created an informat called TMCOL. Now I want to use that one. Now this is my program. I will write this program again one more time here. Now I want to use the informat. By the way, what is the informat I created? TMCOL. Now, where we can apply the informat? We can apply informat directly in the input statement after the variable name. Or otherwise, we can write a separate informat statement. Now I'm writing a informat. For which variable I want to use? Team variable. What is the informat I created? Dollar. Because it's a character. TMCOL dot. You should always end the informat by dot. Now see, if I select the program, execute the program, we are going to have a DS1 data set. I will go back. Here we have a DS1 data set. Now can you see how we have the team values now? When we have a blue, we have a capital B, green as a G, red as a capital R, yellow as capital Y. Understand this one? This is how we create a user-defined informat, and this is how we use a user-defined informat.
So why we use dollar symbol in?
Because it's a character. It is a character informat. Because it's a, but if you are using same informat in the input statement, if you do not want to write this separate statement, simply what we can do, team dollar TMCOL dot directly you can write it. Now select the program, execute the program. We will have a DS1. Can you see we got the data? What is the problem? I think we have some space issues. I will do one thing. I will specify colon symbol to avoid alignment issues. Now execute the program. We are getting the data. Now can you see? So we can apply informat directly in the input statement or in a separate statement. Can we try one more thing, another one, so that we'll get a clear clarity?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Data. I have a data set called demo1. Okay. Now input, I have two variables, patient ID, and then I have a sex. Sex is a character variable. Okay. When collecting the data in a database online, they collected the sex as zeros and ones. They have collected the sex female as a 0, and they collected the sex male as 1. So 1010, 1021, 1030, 1040, 1050, 1061, 107, and they have 108, 1, 109, 0, 110, 1. So when they collected the sex values, they collected the sex values as zeros and ones. So now sponsor is asking me, when you have a 0, take it as a female, capital F. When you have an M, print it as a capital M. So store it as an M. So I want to store 0 as F, 1 as M. Then do you have such informat available? No. We do not have anything that such kind of informat. Then what should I do now?
User defined.
I should create my own informat.
User defined.
Very good. If I create my own informat, then what it is called? It is called a user defined informat. Very good. How to create a user defined informat? By using a processor called semicolon. No. Very good. What is the statement I should write? I should write a statement called in value. Okay, since I'm going to use it for sex variable, sex is here, I'm taking a character or numerical variable? Character, right? Can you see here a dollar symbol? Now I should write a dollar symbol here. Now you can write any name. So it is related to gender. Now I'm writing as a gender. I am writing a gender. You can write any name, but you should follow SAS naming rules. That's it. You can write up to 32 characters. Okay. Now, after that, if the data contains 0 is equal to how I want to have, I want to have it as a capital F. Yes. Now, tell me why I'm writing 0 within the quotations? Because I'm taking the sex as a character variable. And then, if the data contains 1 is equal to how I want to have, I want to have it as an M, semicolon, run semicolon. So, I'm creating a user-defined informat called GEND. Now I want to use in my program. If you want to use in our program, where we can write directly in the input statement of the variable name or separate informat statement. Okay. Now I want to use a separate informat statement to say we should write informat for which way we want to use it. Sex variable.
Sex.
What is the informat I created? GEND dot semicolon.
Dot.
Yeah, before executing the statement, I will show you. First, I'm executing the demo data set. Now you know how the sex values will be in the demo data set. Can you see how we have the sex values? Zeros and ones. But now I'm using this informat. Now I'm using this informat. Now I'm selecting the program, executing the program. We have a demo 1. Now can you see how we have? Instead of zeros and ones, we have F and M's. 0 as representing with, F is representing 0 and M is representing 1. Understand this one? This is how we create user-defined informats.
Input statement. ఇన్పుట్ స్టేట్మెంట్ లో రాయాలంటే వేరియబుల్ నేమ్ తర్వాత వెంటనే రాయవచ్చు సార్. ఐ మీన్ డాలర్ సింబల్ కన్నా ముందే.
Yes. No. After the dollar symbol, since it's a character variable, simply you can write $gender. That's it.
Okay, sir.
Now say I want to have a demo too.
Sir,
yes.
Sir, that we proc format we written na. If we are not using proc format, directly we can write in demo 2 means that. one only program we can use, or proc format only we have to write compulsory?
See, not like that one. I will tell you later. So since we're early stage, I will tell you one thing. In future, you no need to write a proc format every time. You no need to create a user-defined format. We have other method also. Say, for example, since you asked me, first of all, I'm reading the sex as a character variable, okay? Now, if I execute the program, how the values will be stored in sex now? Zeros and ones, right? In future, we are going to like this one. If sex is equal to, say, for example, 0, okay, then I will let sex is equal to f. This is called if conditional statement. Okay. Now, else, if sex is equal to, say, for example, 1, then I will let sex is equal to m. This is called if conditional statement. If I write this one also will apply. But what is the difference between writing a user-defined format and this one? You know, if you create an informat one time, you can use it repetitively. N number of times again and again you can use it. But if I write if condition like this one, this is called hard coding. Whenever you want to, every time you should write the condition. Okay, here we have only 2 values you can write, not a big issue. But sometimes we are going to have 10, 15 conditions. It is not so easy to write every time. So that's why the advantage with the format is once you have a format, you can use it n number of times repetitively. That is too early to discuss. When I'm discussing about the proc format procedure, I will discuss about that one in detail. Okay?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
So why we take as genders G?
Which one? This one?
Yes, sir.
You can add any name here. It doesn't mean gender. మీరు ఏబీసీ అని రాసుకోవచ్చు, XYZ అని రాయొచ్చు, లేదా మీరు దీనే సెక్స్ అని రాయొచ్చు, మీరు ఎలా అయినా రాసుకోవచ్చు.
Okay.
It's a user defined name, that's it. You have to give some name.
Okay.
So this user defined format we are creating is saved for permanent manner or for just temporary? If we close this window, then
since I'm writing like this one, this will be get saved by default in the work library. Okay, if you save in work library, it is a temporary. In future, because I told you what is the main purpose of informats, repetitive usage. If you want to use repetitively, you should not have in the work library, right? It should be in a permanent library. So at that time, we will save this in a permanent library. Okay? And because in the real time, if you have a 14 members in a team or 10 members in a team, only one member will create all the required user-defined information and formats for the entire team for the project. Only one person will create. Now, say for example, you are the person you created. Now, I am also your team member. I want to use the same information that what you created. So then where we should have that one? We should have that in a permanent library. You should not have in the work because work is a temporary. If you close the session, automatically that will be get deleted, right? So in that time, when I'm writing this one, I told you that I'll discuss about this one in detail during the proc procedure step. But since you asked me, that time we are going to write a statement called library is equal to, now I'm writing, say for example, library name. Now where this will be get saved now, this sex informat now, this will be get saved in Madhavi library. So that Madhavi library is a permanent library, this is a folder. It is going to have some physical location. There it will be get saved permanent. So that all the members from the team can use that one, or you can also use across the sessions. Whenever you want to, you can use it. But if I'm not writing library is equal to Madhavi, by default, what we are going to have here? By default, we are going to have library is equal to work. That's why it is getting saved in the work library. Okay?
Okay, then.
Clear, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is about informat statement. Okay. What we have discussed in the informat statement, tell me one more time, by the way, how we can define informat? Informat is a special instruction that we use to read the non-standard data into SAS as standard data.
Standard data.
Very good. Now I told you informats are 5 types. The first one is character informat. Why we use the character informat? To read the character data. Now examples we have seen variable $symbol, we have seen variable $symbol with dot, and we have seen variable $symbol char with dot. Yes. And then we started discussing about numerical informat. What is a numerical informat? To read the non-standard numerical data into SAS as a numerical data. Examples, what are the numerical information we have seen? We have seen comma W dot, we have seen dollar W dot, we have seen percent W dot. And then we started discussing about the date informats, we discussed about the time informat, then we discussed the datetime informat. Okay, and then I told you we have a column binary, but nowadays we are not using column binary informats in SAS, so that's why I didn't discuss about this one. This we use generally in C language. We don't require that one. And finally, what we have discussed now, we discussed user-defined informats. Okay? Clear, everybody?
Yes, sir.
సార్ మనకి ఇనిషియల్ జీరోస్ ఉంటే అప్పుడు ఏం యూస్ చేస్తాం?
We'll discuss that one, Badri. 1 second. Now see what and all we have learned so far in the attributes. We'll try to use all the attributes one time. Okay. So far, because we discussed about the variable name, variable data type, we discussed about the variable length, variable label, and informat. Say for example, this is the data. In the real time, you will get the specification sheet. You know, the specification sheet saying they want to have a data set, say for example, demo. And then they want to have a label for the data set. They want to have, say for example, employee details. Okay. Then they want to have variable name. Then they want to have variable type. Then they want to have variable, length. Then they want to have, say for example, label. And then they will tell you only these things. No. They want to have variable name, ID number. The second variable they want to have name, then age, then sex, then salary, and then date of birth, and then date of joining. No, this is the data. And they will tell you they want to have the first variable numerical variable, then sex name they want to have a character variable, then age they want to have a numerical variable, sex they want to have a character variable, then salary they want to have a numerical, and date of birth they want to have a numerical, date of joining they want to have a numerical, and ID number they want to have length 8, name they want to have length 6 only, and then age they want to have length 8, then they want to have sex length only 1, and then they want to have a salary length 8, date of birth they want to have length 8, and date of joining they want to have length 8. Okay, and then they want to have labels. So this is they want to have employee ID as a label. They want to have, say for example, employee name as the label. Age they want to have employee age in years. Then sex they want to have it as a gender. Then they want to have income in rupees. And then they want to have birth date, and then they want to have joining date. So now we'll try to use length statement, label statement, informat statement together, because that is how we are going to do in the real time. So this is how they are going to provide the specification sheet. Now based on the specification, tell me what the program I should write. Tell me. Data. Demo. Label. What is the label they want to have? Label is equal to employee details.
Employee details.
Employee details. Now, first of all, I will write input. Okay. In the input, they specify they want to have ID number, name, age, salary, date of joining. Then
data lines, run semicolon.
First,
character.
We'll see the data type. Which one they want to have a character? Name character.
Name sets.
Sets character. Then they want to have a length. So if you want to apply the length, what is the statement you should write?
Length statement.
Length statement. Where we should write the length statement in the program?
After input.
Very good. We should write before the input. Isn't it?
Yes.
No, I'm writing that one. Now, so length, for which value you should apply the length by seeing the specification. Tell me for which values you should apply the length? Name and sex. So length, variable name is name. It is a character variable $symbol 6 dot. In the same statement, sex $symbol 1 dot semicolon. So length is over.
1 dot.
1 dot semicolon. Now, they never tell you what the informat you should write. It is your duty as a SAS programmer, when you have in-stream data, when you have a non-standard data, you have to use informat. Tell me, for which variables I should write informat now?
Salary.
Which is, in which one you have a non-standard data? Salary. Date of birth and data. Very good. Now, I am writing informat statement. So tell me what is the informat I should write for the salary?
Comma.
Dot. Very good.
6 dot.
Comma 6 dot. Now tell me what is the informat I should write for the date of birth?
Date 9 dot.
Now tell me what is the informat I should use for the date of joining?
DDML 10 dot. Semicolon.
And semicolon. So informat is over. Now, where we should write the label statement? We can write the label statement. You can write anywhere, right? Before the input or after. You can write up to you. Now I'm writing here label. How to apply the label? The first variable name is ID number is equal to
in quotation.
Within the inverted quotations. Now copy the label. Copy the label and paste it over here from the specification sheet. And the second variable is name is equal to, again within the singular double quotations. So this is the label they want to have. Now we are going to write the employee name. Then the third variable is age is equal to, now within the quotations, whatever the is in years. Now copy that one and then paste it over here. And then sex is equal to, next variable sex is equal to, they want to have it as a gender, copy that one and paste it over here. You can add either double quotations or single quotation, not a problem. Now the next variable is sal is equal to, now write the labels. And then DOB is equal to, now within the quotations, birth date, now take that one. Okay, and then DOJ is equal to, they want to have it as a joining date and take that one. This is what we do in the real time. Just we copy the label because we can't by heart it. Now I'm writing that one. Now I'm selecting the program. I'm executing the program. Now we are going to have a demo data set. Go to the work library. Here we have a demo data set. Now I told you how to, by default, I couldn't able to see the labels. If you want to see the labels, what we should do?
Double click on
Go to view
Or view.
view
column.
click on column labels. Now can you see it is printing the labels, but unfortunately the variables are not in my specification order. If you want to have variables in the specification order, remember what is the statement you should write? Yes, I want to have ID number, then name, then age, then sex, salary, date of birth, and then age. Now we are going to have the variables in the specification order. This is how we are going to use label statement, length statement. So in this scenario, we use an informat statement. Then we are going to discuss in the next class format statement. You should understand how to use together all the statements.
Column binary information.
Pardon? We don't have column binary. We don't require. We are not using that one anymore. Okay.
Sir, in string data.
Clear everybody? Yes.
ఇన్స్ట్రీమ్ డేటాలో లెంత్ స్టేట్మెంట్ ఇన్పుట్ కి ముందే రాయాలా సార్? ఇన్పుట్ తర్వాత
You can anyway. Yes, always. ఎందుకంటే లెంత్ ఇక్కడ రాయకుండా నేను ఇన్పుట్ తర్వాత రాసాను కొన్ని, ఇన్పుట్ ఫస్ట్ వెళ్తుంది కదా, ఇన్పుట్ వెళ్తే డిఫాల్ట్ గా లెంత్ ఎంత డిసైడ్ అయిపోతుంది? 8 డిసైడ్ అయిపోతుంది. ఒకసారి లెంత్ డిసైడ్ అయిందంటే తర్వాత మీరు రాసిన ఇట్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు బి యూజ్లెస్. సో యూ షుడ్ ఆల్వేస్ లెంత్ బిఫోర్ ద ఇన్పుట్. అదే సెట్ తో రాస్తుంటే బిఫోర్ ద సెట్.
ఓకే ఓకే సార్.
క్లియర్ ఎవ్రీబడి?
Sir, can we write this informat and label statement in after input?
You can add anywhere. Only that requirement is specificity is only for the length. Informat, format, label you can add anywhere before input or after input also. The length statement should be before input. Only that is the criteria.
And retain should be before length, like input.
Yes. Just after the data statement.
Okay.
To maintain the variable order.
Yes. To retain the variable order.
Okay.
So we can also write the length in after name $symbol 6 dot with colon.
Yeah. So if you do not want to write the length statement, where we can write the length? Since we have input statement, you can write it here. $6 dot. But if you're writing a $6 dot, what you should do? You should write a colon symbol. But here sexy you don't require, because uniform every time we have only one. No, you can edit. So either you can go with like this one, or you can go with the length statement. It's up to you. But when we have a set, absolutely you have to write the length statement. You will not have any other choice, because there you will not have input statement, right? When writing a set, in that scenario, obviously you have to write the length statement there. Okay.
Okay.
Okay guys, see you in tomorrow's class. Sorry, next class. Not tomorrow, I guess. Monday. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.